These are the offices of Stanley Ogden, Ecclesiastical Window Cleaners, are they, miss? Yes. Yes, Mr. Ogden is expecting me. Oh, very much obliged. Oh, flaming heck, Stan, haven't you had your breakfast yet?
Hilda didn't give me a proper shout.
That is impossible, mate. Your Hilda's never given you an improper shout in her life. Your Hilda's shout can set manhole covers quivering at 1,000 yards.
Well, she didn't wake me up.
Oh, all right, I'll not pursue the matter. I'll not bring a note of rancour into the day that is going to change our lives beautifully.
You reckon?
I'm certain. All the most brilliant ideas are the simplest, aren't they?
Are they?
Yeah, like a shoelace.
Shoelace?
Yeah. Now, what could be more simpler than a shoelace? First as an idea, then as an item indispensable to civilization as we know it.
What's a shoelace got to do with cleaning a church window?
Well, nothing as such, but everything in the imagination. Anyway, it's not a window, Stanley. It's church windows, plural.
We've only got St. George's so far.
That is just starters, mate. You mark my words, in 6 months we'll have cornered the market in church windows. We'll be on first name terms with the Pope, I shouldn't wonder.
Hey, if there's one window, there's bound to be others.
Hundreds, Stanley. Hundreds.
Aye.
Like the man said, oh, ye of little faith. Now, come on, finish your breakfast, comb the hairs on your chest, and we'll get out to work.
Right.
Look, I think I'll wait outside. I haven't got the stomach to watch you eat. It's like somebody shoveling rubble down a pit shaft.
Yeah, I get that.
Here.
Oh, thanks, love. You haven't got a couple of aspirins, have you?
Don't think Clubland's very good for you.
I'm sure it isn't. Especially at corner of Clubland I was singing in last night. Do you know, I was standing there, belting out Big Spender, full blast, and yet all I could hear was ale slopping about in pint pots and fellas shouting, "When you've a minute, waiter." Do you know, I swear they wouldn't have noticed me if I'd taken all my clothes off.
I'm sure you could find a better way of earning extra money.
I'm sure I could. I didn't enjoy last night, I can tell you.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
I'll take a rain check on that.
Like that, is it? I'll take this paper and a box of matches, please. There's a lot of truth in the old saying, you know.
What old saying's that?
Early to bed, early to rise, etc.
Practice what you preach, do you?
Not often. Still, I've got a very good constitution myself. Be seeing you.
Hey, what's the chances of your lot making less noise today?
I shall be asking questions if they do.
That's all I need. Hammering and banging from next door.
Do you like him, Rita?
Well, he seems right enough, does fella.
Yeah. A bit on the surface, but all the time, you know, there's more to him. You know?
No.
Well, I know what I mean, but I can't just put it into words.
Well, I'm in no condition to help you.
Do you know, Stanley, I've never known anyone as good as you at putting off starting work.
What about you?
Oh, shut up.
I want some fags. I can't work without fags.
Here you are, Stanley. 55p to you.
55?
Got it in one.
Are you on your own?
Reedy's gone up to her mother's again.
All right, I'll have them on tick till dinner time.
Oh.
I'll see you, right?
Sorry, Stanley. No, there's an unwritten rule of the house. No credit for Stanley Ogden.
Only till dinner time.
Sorry.
You're being very short-sighted, if you don't mind me saying so, Squire.
You reckon, do you?
My partner and I are about to embark on a line of business that'll make us cash customers even beyond the dreams of your avarice, mate.
What business is that, Eddie?
Tell him, Stanley.
We have a contract to clean church windows. Those big stained glass things. You may have noticed them in passing.
You what?
It's true, Mrs. Sharples.
Where? What church?
Well, St. Joseph's for starters.
The vicar's letting a pair of cack-handed pagans like you two loose on valuable to say nothing about sacred church windows. He must be potty.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that, Mrs. Sharples, on account it was very hurtful. Not only will Stanley and me do a good and safe job on St. Joseph's, but we'll be doing other ones. We'll be expanding our operations. Good day to you both. Come on, Stanley.
And you know what you can do with your cigarettes?
Yes, well, you better get expanding pretty soon because there won't be any church windows left. I see St. Dominic's as a used car tyre depot now. What is the world coming to, Alf Roberts? God's house filled with car tyres. You know what I think? I think we need a second coming to G us all up. Packet of starch and half a pound of currants, please. Do you mind if I say something personal?
Oh, fire away.
You look a right daisy in that coat.
Coming along nicely, don't you think, Mr. Dawson?
Let's say we're beginning to see wood and not just trees, lad.
Oh, I'll be finished easy, what, week after next at this rate?
I hope so. The sooner I'm open and starting to see some return on my investment, the happier I'll be.
Ah, you can't mess with a business like this.
I haven't yet.
How do?
What's this?
Just a kind thought, because you haven't been making much noise today, and I thought it might be in deference to my state of health.
Well, we've been laying tiles, and you can't make much noise doing that, can you?
You wouldn't exactly call him a smooth talker, would you?
And I think it's too late for him to learn, love.
I'm sure it is.
Well, it's still much appreciated, love.
Well, don't get carried away. I'm not going to make a habit of it. I'm usually too busy.
How many meals do you reckon to do a day next door?
Oh, between 30 and 40 in the winter, nor as many in summer.
Not to be sneezed at.
Well, it keeps me husband in girly mags.
And the rest.
Have I grown old before my time or something since I come in here?
It were you, weren't it? It were you singing down the club last night.
Ah, you saw me, did you?
Yeah, of course.
And pennies only just dropped. Just shows how much notice you were taking.
Well, you look different in daylight, don't you?
Watch it.
I know it's with a mate or two, you know, having a bevy and a few laughs.
I know. I heard every flaming last he-haw.
I think she's upset, Tommy.
Not half as much as he's going to be, though, eh?
True. Life can be very cruel, can't it? For the unprepared.
Stanley,
What?
how long is your longest ladder?
Oh, about 12 foot.
And how high do you reckon that window is?
Longer.
You boobed again, haven't you, Stan?
What are we going to do?
Oh, we're going to have to get some proper flaming equipment, aren't we? Stick that lot back on the car.
You don't do much in this partnership, do you?
Stanley, I am the brains. You don't expect me to get my hands grubby and all, do you?
Brain. Rubbish.
Oh, I know just what you mean. Once you've fallen out with a job, it's all donkey work, isn't it? And where's the fun in that?
Oh, I wouldn't say it's exactly fallen out with the hospital. I'd just like something more cheerful. I think I must have the wrong sort of personality for hospitals. You've got to be somewhat psychologically tougher than I am. I get too involved.
Oh, I'd be just the same. Well, if I hear of anything, Emily, I'll certainly let you know.
Oh, there's not much hope of finding anything really interesting these days. Do you know, by 1990, there'll be thousands of youngsters in their 20s who've never had a job at all.
Really?
Microelectronics, you know.
Oh.
And for instance, for every 10 typists there are now, they'll only need one. It's a frightening prospect.
Off.
We've got to change, Mavis, or perish.
I suppose so.
Bye.
Bye.
Emily cheering you up again, is she?
Do you know, sometimes I think she's too well informed for my good.
Ignorance is bliss, and pig ignorance is ecstasy.
Yes. Are you actually going to do any work today?
Not much.
Doesn't look like it.
Now listen, Mavis, I had a very shocking experience last night. You try being human Muzak. Do you know, I swear a woman sat at a table near me, asked me for a light at middle of my song. I swear she did.
I don't see why I should have to suffer for it.
Somebody has.
I'm looking for the owner of these premises, Mr. Fairclough.
Well, I'm Mrs. Fairclough.
Oh, well, I suppose you can give me the authorization just the same, can't you?
Depends what you have in mind, love.
Lose,
Lose?
or rather the lack of them.
Where?
Here.
Well, if you're desperate, you could use one in her bathroom. Have I said something funny?
I don't want to use a loo. I want to look for one. Well, two, actually, senoras and senors.
Why does it turn you on or something?
I think I'd better start at the beginning. The name's Healy.
I'm very sorry.
I'm the environmental health officer for the area.
And I bet your mother's that proud of you. What say you,
I'm
Mavis?
sure she is.
I've had a complaint, Mrs. Fairclough.
Oh, dear. Nothing serious. Well, I hope not at your age.
The complaint being that there are no proper toilet facilities for the business being conducted on these premises, namely a cafe, and that is in contravention of the bylaws.
You know, every time I see you do that, Len,
Which is often.
I feel very deprived that such a source of simple satisfaction has been denied me all my life.
Ah, yes, but think of what it costs him, Ken.
It's cheap at the price.
No, I don't just mean money. I mean all the other pleasures he's missed in life through boozing. Such as me, for instance.
Compared with a long, cool pint, darling, you are no longer a pleasure. No woman is.
Oh, tell him, Ken.
No, I'm sorry. I think he's got his priorities exactly right.
You know, You're becoming a right male chauvinist pig in your old age.
Well, we have to. Us men, self-preservation, you know. Stop us being swept into the sea.
Oh, I think you're too low at rate already. You've got your feet wet.
I rather think you're right.
It's Rita for you, Len.
See what I mean?
And how are two of my favourite customers today?
Well, one of them has just been telling the other the facts of life.
Rather like closing the stable door after the horse has bolted in your case, wouldn't you say, Mrs. Tanner?
I have been putting him straight.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just telling him how him and his mate have suddenly become second-class citizens.
Haven't they always been?
Well,
What's up?
I don't know exactly. There's some bloke chucking his weight around in the cabin. I'll go and have a look.
Ah, just the lad we're looking for. You've got a longish sort of ladder, haven't you? Can we borrow it for a bit? There's this little Persian cat stuck up a tree. You know?
Eddie.
Yeah?
If you don't shift, mate, you'll be stuck up a tree or your flaming bonce will. Come on!
Charming.
Funny fella, Fairclough, you know, always has been. I think it is indigestion.
Something you've never suffered from, eh, Stan?
My stomach's like a Swiss watch.
Do you know, I didn't know they built Big Ben. 2 pints, please, love.
I'm glad you two could come in.
Why?
Well, I was sure to something to laugh at.
Look, what are we going to do without a special ladder?
Well, you must know somebody. I mean, what about one of your window cleaning pals? Or don't you speak to them?
Well, Bill Jarvis has got a selection.
Well, then we'll ask him.
Ah, but he'd charge. It's kind of free, that one.
How much?
Oh, about £1.
Yeah.
Ta, Stanley.
I'm skint, you know I am.
Do you know something, Stan?
What?
I'm rapidly going off this caper.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Yeah, well, the fella that said that didn't have you for a partner. Cheers.
Cheers.
And I'm afraid failure to comply could mean a fine of £100, or even
Prison?
3 months.
For not having a loo?
2 loos, actually.
You're enjoying this, aren't you? You think it's a bit of a laugh?
No, in no way. Bylaws aren't funny.
Do you know how long I've been running this place as a cafe?
No, not exactly. Not without checking it.
5 years! And the fella before me more like 500 years. Now you come along here telling me I'm breaking the flaming law.
Well, you've been very lucky then, haven't you, Mr. Fairclough?
Lucky.
Getting away with it for so long.
Do you know who you're bloody talking
Hey,
to,
now,
mate?
Len.
I've been on the council. Don't start talking to me about bylaws.
There's nothing personal in this, Mr. Fairclough.
Isn't there?
I don't...
Look, you said you'd had a complaint. Who were it from?
I can't tell you that now, can I? I mean, we can't break a confidence from a member of the public.
A snooper, you mean?
We'd get no complaints at all if we did that, and we rely on complaints to uphold standards. Mr. Fairclough knows that.
All right, cut the lecture. What you're saying is, if I want to continue with this place as a cafe, I've got to put a couple of lavatories in there.
Afraid so.
Well, it's ridiculous.
Progress.
Progress? How many people come in here want to use our lavvy, Len? Once in a blue moon. And them as do can use the one upstairs in the flat.
There's a public toilet 50 yards down the street.
Look, if you like, I'll ask every single customer. I shall say to him or her, we don't actually have a toilet on the premises, but if you really are crossing your legs, we can oblige.
I'll lay on transport down to the public cludgy, if you like.
I'm sorry, I'm only doing my job. A vital and socially responsible job. It's not all that long since this country was an open sewer.
The SS used to say they were only doing their job.
I've told you what the regulation is, and what the consequences of not complying are. It's up to you now. You'll be getting an official letter from my office. Then there can be no misunderstandings. Goodbye, Mr. Fairclough. Mrs. Fairclough.
Would you flipping believe it?
After all this time.
It'd cost us a mint to put a couple of lavies in there, even if we had the room.
I wonder who shopped us.
I'm off for a bite to eat, lads. I don't fancy next door again. Where do you generally go, Tommy?
Well, I've tried a few places. Pubs round here aren't up to much now, I tell you.
One of the reasons I'm opening up in this neck of the woods. They don't know what good grub is.
Oh, flippin' heck.
Right, come on, Stanley. Up, up, up. Oh, the word in this case, I think, is Excelsior.
Hey, it's high as that. Higher than I usually go, you know.
Not much.
Well, I've got vertebrae.
Vertigo.
Well, I've probably got that as well.
Blimey, who ever heard of a window cleaner being afraid of heights? It's like a rabbit being frightened of sex. Here, you pass the gear to me. You can manage that much, can't you?
Yeah.
Here. Right.
Well, it looks easy enough.
Well, it's not exactly brain surgery, is it, Stanley? Onward, Christian soldiers, going on to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before.
Very appropriate, if I may say so.
What's that, Stanley? Oh, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. I'm very pleased to see you both. Obviously, you are men of your word. I can't tell you how desperate I was getting about the state of these windows. In fact, I was on the verge of cleaning them myself.
Very praiseworthy, sir. But you see, these windows like these, need the professional touch. Isn't that right, Stan?
Oh, you've got that, sir.
I'm sure I have, and I'm excessively grateful. Well, I'll be in the church if you want me. Oh, well, you will be very careful, won't you?
We are professionals, sir.
Of course.
Nice fella, that.
Well, they always are, aren't they? Little bit, what's the word? Naive, thank God. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching on to war.
You're soon back.
Oh, I want a drink, don't I? Where's my pint?
Well, it were dead, weren't it?
Oh, flipping Nora.
Oh, for goodness sake, give him another before he bursts into tears.
Yeah, they're worse than babies.
A lot worse.
Nothing serious at the shop.
Ah, just the town holds on to me for not having lavatories in there.
Ooh, the trials and tribulations of a tycoon.
There are more of them than pleasures, I'll tell you.
I wish I had half your problems, Gib.
Yeah, me too.
Well, would you credit him? 1 minute he's frothing at the mouth for a pint, and when I give it him, he's moved. Hey, are you stopping there? I mean, I would like to know.
Les, I'll book and give us another one, will you?
If I wasn't a lady, Len Fairclough, I'd chuck that beer all over you.
So a word to the wise, eh? Don't let the town all get onto you about anything.
No, I won't. Thanks for the nod. Still, it's not much of a problem for you, is it? Chap in your line of business, installing a couple of toilets.
I don't think we got room.
Is that right?
I couldn't have done better myself. They're glowing.
And I'm aching. All over me body's aching. Even me hair's aching. I never bargained for this, Stan. Not me doing all the actual graft.
Oh, well, you should do. I mean, you've got the touch.
Yeah, well, I had to do a good job, didn't I? I mean, if we want to get any more. Mind you, I'm not as keen on the idea as I was.
It's money for old robe. Probably 12 quid for 3 windows, you know. I'd work every day for that.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Come on, let's go and collect it. Hey, he might be so chuffed he'll give us a bonus.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Hey. All right, sir.
Excellent, really excellent. It looks 10 times brighter than it did. Really excellent. Apparelled in celestial light, as Wordsworth said.
And he took the words right out of our mouths. Isn't that right, Stan?
All right, yeah.
Good job, well done.
Indeed.
And we were no trouble, no aggravation.
Well, I scarcely knew you were here.
It's the way we work, isn't it, Stan?
That's right.
I wonder.
Yes, sir?
Oh, no, it would be an unwarrantable imposition.
Oh, let us be the judge of that, sir, please.
Mr. Pimlott over at St. Chad's has a similar problem with his stained glass window.
Had, sir. Had a problem. We are on our way.
Really?
Oh, the day's young, but ever so eager, aren't we, Stan?
All right, we're going, sir.
I feel very humble. I do indeed. In this much maligned day and age, 2 truly Christian gentlemen, willing to donate a full day's labor to your church. Mammon does not quite reign supreme after all. I am deeply, deeply grateful, gentlemen. And so I am sure will Mr. Pimlott be. I'll just go and phone him and tell him you're coming.
Donate? What's he mean exactly?
It means give, Stanley. Give. You know what we are, don't you?
What?
for a flaming charity.
Hey, don't swear around here. You never know.
Oh, he won't mind. He's just had his windows done for nothing. Come on.
Thank you. Your poached egg all right? Was it not too well done?
No, it was lovely.
Oh, good. Bye. Bye. Come again.
I'm just nipping home for half an hour. Do a bit of washing. Well, it's quiet enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Mavis. Cheer up. Please. Not the end of the world, is it?
Oh, no, it's not. But I mean, it poses a problem for me, doesn't it?
Your job's safe enough, even if we have to close cafe.
Yes, but it's till that happens or till we install toilets. That's what I'm worried about.
You've got your own toilet upstairs, ain't you?
Oh, don't be silly, Rita. I'm not talking about that aspect.
Well, what are you talking about?
Well, am I being an accessory after the fact?
A what?
An accessory after the fact.
Look, I'm only what my father calls semi-educated. What are you talking about?
Well, it's a legal term, Rita, and it means... Well, in this case, it means... Is Mr. Fairclough's breaking the law by keeping the cafe open when there's no toilets? Am I being a criminal, too, by serving in it?
A criminal?
Yeah.
You're serious?
Oh, yes.
Well, then, Mavis, all I can do is say I'll leave it to your conscience. I mean, there may be a risk of the prison gates clanging behind you. But what about your loyalty to me and Len, your friends? What about that? Hello. She's a vanilla and a pot of tea. Well, what's it to be? Betrayal? A Dartmoor?
Oh.
Good girl. I knew we could rely on you. Ta-ra. Sorry about that. And there's me going on about prison gates clanging. Ta-ra.
I mean, what can you do? You can't break a vicar's arm to get your money, can you? It's unlucky.
I'm glad you've got some principles, Eddie Yates.
Oh, I have, Mrs. Sharples, and I've made some resolutions and all. Not to get involved in business with Oggy anymore.
Ah, you'll soon change your tune if you think there's some easy money to be made.
Do you know that's the second hateful thing you've said today?
They're home truths, aren't they, Mrs. Sharples? Yes, which never hurt anybody.
Well, they hate me grievously.
Hey, Alf, I want a word.
And I want a pint.
Can I have a pint for Alfred, please? Can you do me a favour?
Well, as long as it don't cost me money, I'll get me into trouble.
No, it's just that the council's been on to me about not having lavatories in the cabin.
Have they?
Yeah, well, it's probably just some busybody, but if it's personal, I'd like to know.
Well, why should it be personal?
Look, there's now queerer than folk. These things happen.
Well, I don't know, Len. I mean, it is confidential information, you know.
Try.
Well, what happens if I do find out who it is and it is personal?
I'll just have to cross that bridge when I come to it, won't I?
Plus is back on the street at 9 tomorrow. Next tonight, we're having a bit of fun with the comedians. That's after the break.